It's almost 2021, and I know a lot of people are trying to figure out how to make income from home and also maybe a side hustle to get some extra income. Or maybe you just want to quit your full-time job and you want to be able to work from home and take care of your kids and have a little bit more of a family life. And I wanted to give you 10 options. These are all things that I myself sell in my Etsy shop. I do have multiple for a reason, and I'll go over that at the end of the video. But all of these are things that you can do that are digital. You don't have to ship anything. Everything can be hands-off once you get it built. So it would be passive income. Some people say that passive income is just hands-off. A very little is going to be just hands-off completely. You're going to have to build these shops. You're going to have to put in the effort and the time and the frustration in the beginning in order to get to where you want to be, in order to get it to where it's hands-off and you can just let it run and you can go do what you want to do. So let's get started. The first one, I'm sure many of you know, is going to be invitations. So you can do this to where you have a file, let's say you design it in Photoshop or Canva or iPicky, wherever you're wanting to use. You can design the templates, and then the customer can give you the information and you go in and edit and send them the files. That is hands-off in the point that you don't have to physically ship anything, but you're still going to have to go back and forth with edits. You're going to have to set time restraints because once you do get busy, you don't want to get behind on your downloads. I personally, and it shows on this first page right here, I use Cordial. And that is a software. There's Cordial and then there's also Template that I pay for every month. And what that allows me to do is to set up templates. And then when a customer buys from my Etsy shop, all they have to do is they get a link and they go in and they edit it themselves. They can edit as many times as they want. I don't care. Make it how they want it to look. And I don't want to have to go back and forth. Because a lot of times you're editing the same information because they decide they want it tweaked a different way. And it can just be very time consuming once you get a lot of listings. Now, another option is mockups. If you're really good with Photoshop, you can do digital mockups. You don't even have to take your own photography. You can use free stock photos that are allowed commercially off of Pixabay and Unsplash and places like that. And you can go in and you would be able to digitally do a mockup of a frame, of a card, of a laptop, of a phone. And people buy these to use these kind of mockups for their Etsy shops, for their actual website. So that's also a good option. Or if you're good with photography, do some flat lays. Buy some stuff. You can go to Dollar General, Dollar Tree, Party City. You can go any places like that, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, and buy small little things to do a flat lay. It's like $10-15 to actually make a light box, to make a light box, to where you don't have to worry about your lighting issues and you don't have to worry about backdrops. You can have like to where you can swap all of that out. So that comes in handy. The third thing would be SVGs. And I don't know if you guys are looking as I go through the amounts. So there's like 1,280,000 invitations, but there is a big market for it. So when you're deciding what you want to do, just make sure that even if it's a big market, it doesn't necessarily mean it's oversaturated in that you're not going to be able to make money. I just started an SVG shop 3 months ago, and it's almost selling out my invitation shop, which I've had for a year. And I only have like 100 listings up. It's just, you're going to have to supply and demand. What do people want? Give it to them. So the third thing would be SVGs. And this is really good for anyone that has a Cricut, a Silhouette, maybe they have a Glowforge. The only thing with this is I would do different shops based on what you're doing. So if you're only selling for personal use, have a shop where all of your digital files are for personal use only, so that you don't have customers getting confused. And it's going to happen because people don't like to read nowadays, where they can't use it commercially. I personally, all of my SVGs are commercial use. So I have all of that in one shop. I have SVGs. I have the next thing, which is going to be Sublimation Designs. All of that I have in one shop with the same licensing agreement. So that takes us to our fourth option. Our fourth option is going to be Sublimation Designs. There's not quite as many of this. They're a little bit more difficult, as in they're going to be a little more time consuming than your SVGs, but the payoff is great. These are great for print on demand people. These are great for people that have a Cricut and do the infusible ink. Maybe they have a t-shirt business at home and they're doing sublimation themselves with a sublimation printer. All of this is great to where you can do it personal or commercial use. It really doesn't matter. And once you get going and you get your flow going, it's pretty quick to make these types of files. The fifth thing kind of leads into the print on demand. I know, like, people are like, how can I do t-shirts and not be hands-on? It's called print on demand, and that's where you go in and you use a production partner, whether it be Printify, Printful, Printed Mint, Guten. Those are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head, where you do the design, you upload it, a customer will go in and purchase the listing, and instead of you physically having to make the product, what you'll actually do is the production partner will print it. And Etsy does allow this. Now, when you set up your listing, it's going to be a little bit different, but this is not against the terms of service to have print on demand. They have partnered with Printful and Printify and a few other places to where it integrates in with Etsy, and it's not a problem. And that's another way that you can do. So if you're wanting to hit the market where people are getting physical products, but you don't want to have to worry about supply, you don't want to have to worry about buying in bulk and storing it somewhere, you don't want to have to worry about customer rush where what am I going to do if I get this many orders and I don't have enough time to make them. Print on demand is a really good option for you. To go back to some of the digital options that you can do, the sixth thing on here is going to be patterns. Patterns sell really well. Once again, personal or commercial use, just whichever you're wanting to do is fine. Just make sure you make that clear in your terms of service and in your descriptions. But a lot of people will buy patterns to make designs, or maybe they're wanting to scrapbook. So there's tons of different things that they can do right here, and seamless patterns. So that's basically what these are. I do ask if you're making seamless patterns, please make sure that they're actually seamless. So go in and check them on something, because I've purchased quite a few of patterns that I'd go in and I'm so excited because they're seamless and I'm ready to use them. And then it turns out that even though they said they were seamless, they were not. So if you're going to do a seamless pattern, please make sure that it is working correctly. The next one on that, so number 7, is going to be Clipart. This is really big, and it's a very broader term. You can do watercolors, you can do regular acrylic painting, you can do digital clip arts, you can do clip art that I've already set up in wreaths and frames. I mean, there's so many things you can do. You can do overlays, but clip art in general is a really good option for you if you're a designer, or if you're good at Photoshop and you can take some courses. Udemy has courses on how to do some stuff. Skillshare is a really good place to go in and learn from different artists and different instructors on how to do things in Photoshop, how to do things in Procreate, which is the iPad version of Photoshop where you can create. And all of those are great options. This person right here, Digital Curio, I purchase from them all the time to use for some of my stuff because she's better at making it quicker, and sometimes it's just faster to purchase some of what I need commercially to do some of my other stuff because I have a lot going on. I have 4 Etsy shops. That takes a lot of time. So number 8 is going to be digital planners. Now I have made these. I don't have them in my shop as of yet, but this is an option. You can YouTube how to make a digital planner and see how it goes, and they'll teach you step by step. Most people will. If not, I'm sure there's a course somewhere. Just be wary on your courses. Make sure they're what you want. But you can do a digital planner. That way, if someone, or printable planners, to where it's not only a digital, but a planner that someone would print out at home to save money. They just want to use their own copy paper and print out the planner instead of having to buy one that's already bound. Number 9 is going to be Lightroom Presets. These are really popular right now. You can see there's 39,000, so they're not quite to the invitation popularity, but they are very popular in that a lot of people are using these now to get really good photos. So if they're wanting to do an Instagram and they want everything to have cohesive and have the kind of the same look, they're going to use a preset on their photos. And so this can be for mobile presets. It can just be for desktop Lightroom presets. I use them for my photography, and it's great. It's a great way to get the look that you want. And number 10 is going to be Zoom backgrounds. Now, up until recently, until 2020, this was not really a thing. It may have been a small thing, but most people did not do these. But when everybody was at home and they had to start having Zoom parties, then people started looking for, okay, where's a Zoom background for me? Because I don't want to show what I've got behind me. I want a different background. So this is also something, it's not a lot of competition right now. There's only 3,246 listings. That's not a lot. I'm not 100% sure on what the actual customer base would be on this. So how many, supply and demand, how many is buying bases off of how many is selling, but it could be a good option for you. So I hope that these 10 things helped, and I am going to go a little more in depth on actually how to do each one of these in a later video, but I just wanted to give you an option to go ahead and start looking into if you're wanting to start an Etsy shop, you want to do, or your own website, and you're wanting to do something that's digital and it's going to be hands-off in the long run. These are options that are really good that the customer base is already there. So you don't have to go out searching for traffic. It's going to be built in. As long as you do a really good job on your designs, you're good. Thank you so much and have a great day.